Yesterday was an adventure, and we didn't even leave the marina. We did head out of our slip, which is our boat's parking space, to go over to the pump out dock for some necessary services. And it was wild. 20 to 30 knots of wind gusting, sustained winds up around 19 or so. And this boat's 20,000 pounds, and it likes to go in the direction it's already heading, even if you want to turn. And then to add the wind pushing it where the wind wants to, it's almost unmanageable. Almost. So it was wild. We didn't get any of it on camera because there was no way we could film and drive this boat. Everything's good, everything's fine, but what I can show you is what the wind has done to the water level. It's crazy. We've never been here on the boat when the water's been this low. I'm sure it's been this low probably in the past 3 years, but we've never seen it. So to give you an idea, here is what the water level looks like right now. The boat is several feet lower than all of the docks. Our mizzen is almost touching the dock.
It's usually 1 Kelly height away from the dock.
Which is just under 5 feet. So it's what? 2 feet right now?
Yeah, it's quite a bit lower. When I got onto the boat earlier, it was like a 3-foot jump down to the boat as opposed to a 3-foot climb up on top of the boat like it normally is. So.
Yeah, so it's pretty low right now. And then here's what it looks like normally, or at least at a more normal higher level. So if you can see the comparison, it's pretty drastically different. I don't think we're actually sitting on the bottom right now, but our friends who have a much deeper keel, I have a feeling they're probably touching.
Yeah, we're floating. We're not sitting on the bottom. We do need to actually turn on the depth instrument and see how far down we are, because I think we're usually at like 6 feet, something like that, below where the depth sounder is. So it'd be good to see where we actually are right now. It might be in the mud, who knows, but we'll find out. But yeah, it's way low. It was not easy to get off of or onto the boat whenever I was getting off earlier. Definitely impressive to see how much effect the wind actually has on the water level in here, because it just basically shears across the water out in the bay and sucks all of it and pushes it over to the other shore, and then as a result all the water that's in the marina just flows right out to fill in the depression. So it's pretty cool to see. And the winds have kind of signaled that the weather's changed, as you can tell from Kelly's attire. I'm still in summer clothes, so it is what it is, but as you can tell from what Kelly's wearing, weather has definitely changed. I think I woke up and it was like 50 degrees this morning, so getting into the cold weather, which means we've got good winds, which is great for sailing, but then you got to bundle up, so we got to change our wardrobe a little bit.
So you want to go hit the switch so you can go see how deep it really is and tell them?
Oh yeah. Yeah, let me go do that real quick.
See if you can gracefully get out of here.
Yeah, no. We got it all closed up so we can trap the heat inside the boat.
So we got to climb out. Back at the command center to check and see what the depth is. Our new fanciness. Let's see, depth 2.93, so I think we're usually at like 8 feet, so we're about 5 feet lower, something like that. That's a pretty substantial difference. I want to say the tide, I'll have to check and see, because I can go through like the records of what tides normally are, and I think it's like a 2.5 foot difference, so it's a bit different. Very cool. What's going on with this mess though? It's usually me making a mess, not you.
I'm making a cleaner mess, because these are clothes, not dirty tools and things out of the bottom of the boat. It's cold, as you can see. I'm cold, so tank tops and little shorts and cute things like that are not gonna work anymore. So I have to go through the whole process of switching over my wardrobe. And the hardest part isn't the switching over part, it's figuring out how I'm going to fit it into my 2 sort of big but still tiny drawers, especially with workhorse sweaters like this to keep me warm. So I clearly don't run as warm as George, who's still wearing a t-shirt, and he'll still probably wearing that if we're somewhere snowy. He's done that before. He likes to run around. I mean, I wear flip-flops in the winter, but he likes to run around in flip-flops in the winter in the snow. So, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I'll get there. There's also a whole bunch of clean laundry that I haven't gone through that I should have done like a week ago. So.
Get to work then. Get it all put away.
You go cook the food.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna make some food for us.
What are you making?
I'm making breakfast tacos. What do you want?
Can you make me a warm apple cider, like mulled, with spices in it? That'd
Yep.
be so good.
I'll see what I can whip up.
Yes.
Looks mighty clean in here. How'd it go?
Surprisingly better than I thought. I thought it was not gonna fit. I mean, those are all my jackets and fleeces and all the layers. I have a lot of them. I do wear like 6 of them at once. I'm not exaggerating. I have different sized jackets so that I can layer them. So I have bigger jackets to go with smaller jackets. Anyway, I got everything in my 2 drawers. And my 2 drawers are this big and this deep. So the 5 or 6 sweaters I had, the few sweatshirts, the couple of pants, and then some other thinner sweaters. So hopefully it'll be a little easier to get things in and out of there once I start wearing things and putting things in the laundry pile. But I was surprised it fit, so that's exciting because space is not something we have a lot of here for things, but it's good.
Congratulations.
And I'm drinking my nice toasty, warm, spiced apple cider. Very happy to sit and just chill for a second.
We'll enjoy that. You seem awfully excited about that veggie.
Well, it's not a veggie. You get it right. It's a decoration. A decoration we're gonna eat in a couple weeks, I guess. We have more! What are they called? Delicata squash?
Yeah, those are the delicata.
This is an acorn squash decoration. It's edible. I really like decorating for the changing seasons and everything, but it doesn't really work in here because I don't want any more clutter. It's a small space. You gotta keep it as clutter-free as possible. And I don't have anywhere to store the stuff after the fact, so I don't want to buy a whole bunch of fall decorations and then have to throw it out because that's pretty wasteful. At least I think so. So instead I have my edible decorations. I have a feeling my edible decorations are going to grow each week.
They don't smell like cinnamon, but they'll still be delicious.
Why are they going to smell like cinnamon?
Well, because you get all the pine cones and all that kind of stuff that we would then have to store, so.
I didn't get the pine cones.
No, I know. I'm just saying that that's an option to fall decorations and all that. We're not able to do that because we don't have the storage, so.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. So slowly I think we're going to accumulate more squash as the season goes on. It's edible. It keeps for a while. It's dual purpose. It's perfect. But on that note of storing things for a while, we're still at the point where we can drive to the grocery store whenever we want because we haven't sold the cars yet. We're still at the slip, so we're not at Anchorage where it's difficult or anything. But we're starting to experiment more with what vegetables and what different food items we can keep on board longer. I mean, we know in like a house and everything, but in this space, it's not the same. You can't control the temperature or the humidity or any of that, so we've been kind of playing around with that. So right now I have an onion that we've had for a couple weeks and a garlic that, I don't know, it's probably been like 3 weeks. Not something you'd probably worry about for a couple weeks being out in your house, but you're doing well, and hopefully it stays that way because garlic and onions and all that good stuff are important for cooking. But we also got a big bag of potatoes because it's no longer like 95 degrees and 100% humidity in here. So I'm hoping that now that it's cooler weather, we can actually store like a big pack of potatoes, and potatoes are probably my favorite vegetable, so we can always have potatoes on hand to, I don't know if it's spice up dinner, but you know, make it nice and starchy and delicious instead of only having potatoes once a week and having to eat them early in the week because they're going to go bad sitting in the heat and the humidity. So it's exciting. But do you want to tell them about what we were working on earlier before the rainstorm that sent us off to go grocery shopping instead?
Ooh, yeah. Let me show you that real quick. We got new halyards, which are the lines that pull our sails up the mast, and they're brand new. Every other line on the boat had been replaced a couple years ago. These were the only things that had been left as is because they were sort of new, but at this point they're very old. For comparison's sake, this right here is one of our new ones. As you can see, it's nice and white. I don't know if you can perfectly tell in the low light, but by comparison, this is an old one. And I think a side-by-side kind of shows how old these are. These are probably 15 years old now. They're pretty worn out and much weaker than they used to be. Definitely need to be replaced. Since we're going to be going out on the ocean, we want to make sure we got nice strong lines all over the boat. So we got our new ones, and Kelly and I have been working today. I did the first one and then taught her how to do the second one, making these little splices in the end of the line. So this shackle right here, which opens up, is what we actually connect to the top of the sail to pull it up the mast. And we have this fancy splice that is made, which replaces actually tying a knot here at the end of it. If you tie a knot in these lines, it basically cuts the strength, the ultimate strength of these lines in half. Whenever you do this splice, it actually doesn't. It basically maintains the full strength of it. I think it reduces it a little bit, but not much. And to give you an idea of what this splice actually is, so these ropes are made up of two different pieces. One of them is an inner core, which is the actual strong part, and it's not very good in the sunlight. So what they do is they put this fancy looking sheath on the outside that is good in the sunlight, and that's what protects the inner core. So basically what we do is we take the inner core and pull it out, and then we kind of make these two together, and then basically that core ends up going inside of the, it's kind of hard to do because it's all falling apart, but it goes inside of the cover of the other one and then goes right next to the core that runs back this way so that it forms a loop. And we actually maintain the sheath on the outside of it as well, but that core gets fed back through so that it's inside, and that right there, whenever you actually pull on the line, it basically tightens up and the outer sheath, which then holds onto that core and makes it a nice strong knot. So that's essentially, as you can kind of see, basically it comes through and then goes back through there. So that's the core actually being fed back through, and it's a little bit fatter here and then sort of tapers out, which is why it's all strandy like it is, because we tapered them out to then make it so that then it's the proper diameter of the rope. These are going to be much better than what we had before, much easier to work with, and they're going to keep us safe and keep our sails up the mast. The last thing you want is whenever you're sailing along is to have one of them either come untied, another problem of a knot, or break and then have the sail not supported and fall, and kind of ruins our day. So, but we're excited about these. We've got, I think, 2 done at this point. We got 3 more to do, and then we can actually replace them. So it's exciting stuff. Well, that looks delicious. What you working on?
Dinner. We're going to have mashed potatoes and roasted Brussels sprouts. Yes, I said roasted. We're breaking out the oven tonight now that it's finally cool out and we're not worried about heating up the boat. I actually hope we heat up the boat because it's kind of chilly. But we'll see. It's not that cold out, but a little heat from the oven would be good. So mashed potatoes, roasted Brussels. We're going to have some fish. We're going to make a pan sauce, so it'll sort of be like gravy for the Brussels and the mashed potatoes. And then we have some leftover eggplant, and I'm not sure how we're going to mix it in yet, but it needs to be cooked, so it's going to get cooked, and I'm sure it will be delicious. A nice hearty fall meal for, what is it, like the 3rd day of fall? I don't know. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be hearty. It's going to be perfect for the cool weather. It's going to be even more delicious when we're finally anchored out somewhere, making meals like this on the hook, surrounded by nature and water and all of that. It's going to be awesome. Make sure that you subscribe so you can come along for that and enjoy it with us. Alright, we gotta cook because I am starving. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.